We are about to plunge into a really complex and frankly captivating saga today.
Yeah, this isn't just some minor spat. It's a high-stakes, real-world drama that's just, well, exploded across social media in Thailand.
Absolutely. So our mission today, cut through all that noise, try and make sense of the very different stories being told, and, pull out the key details from the sources everyone's talking about.
And right at the center, you've got Chef Mark. He's a big name in the premium meat scene, the meat line as they call it, and his wife, Bo.
For ages, their public image was, well, pretty polished, wasn't it? Successful couple, always live streaming their businesses together, looked like they had it all figured out.
The perfect picture.
But then, wham, it just seemed to come out of nowhere. Their relationship didn't just break down, it imploded, like, very publicly.
Super publicly. Both Mark and Bo hit social media hard, posting these really dramatic accusations against each other.
And it just took off. Suddenly it was the main topic on all those Thai drama pages, Isor ka ki kao, Japachit drama addict, Adaro. It was everywhere, nonstop.
It really was. So get ready, because we're going to navigate this whirlwind. Accusations, counter-accusations, some really surprising personal details. It's a lot.
It is a lot. We'll try and help you make sense of what actually matters in this flood of info.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with how they built this joint empire and how that public image started to crack.
Good idea. So it seems like it actually started with Bo, right? She had her own successful clothing business first.
That's right. And Mark, well, his concert business apparently went bankrupt, and then he kind of joined forces with her.
And that partnership eventually led to Bangkok Butcher, his big premium meat thing.
Exactly. But here's where the stories immediately clash, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the money and the ownership. It shows how messy things get without clear agreements.
Totally. Mark claims it was family money that started Bangkok Butcher, kind of suggesting it was a joint pool.
And he puts the ownership split pretty clearly. 70% for him, 29% for Bo, and 1% for his dad. Very specific numbers.
But Bo's side of the story, it sounds like she feels her initial money, her clothing business success, and just her effort were way more crucial than those numbers suggest, even if the paperwork said 29%.
Yeah, you can see how those early days, those financial roots become this major battleground later on. It's fascinating and kind of sad.
It really is. And the first public signs of trouble, they came out swinging, both of them.
Bo immediately claimed Mark was cheating and that he'd actually thrown her out of their house. Pretty explosive start.
And Mark's response was just as dramatic. He accused Bo of attacking his family specifically, slapping his father.
Wow. So right off the bat, you have these two completely opposite narratives, each one painting themselves as the one who's been wronged.
Deeply entrenched positions from day one.
And those initial clashes just seem to snowball into bigger family dramas.
Yeah.
Like the issue with Mark's sister, Frang.
Yes, the mask business during COVID. Frank came back from China and helped Bo sell masks, right?
Right, but Mark claims he warned Bo against it from the get-go. Said he didn't approve of the whole venture.
And Bo's point on that was quite specific, wasn't it? She tried to clarify.
Yeah, she drew a line, said there was an early phase selling what she called illegal three-ply masks, maybe when regulations were chaotic,
Okay.
and then a later phase selling legal masks. She claims Mark just lumped it all together to make her look bad.
It's like a minor business disagreement gets weaponized in the bigger fight. Classic move, unfortunately.
And there was another family blow-up involving Mark's brother, Pond.
Right, the accusation was that Bo spoke badly about Pond's wife.
Exactly. And apparently it led to Pond's wife actually leaving the family home for a bit.
Oh, that must have really cranked up the tension between Bo and Mark's family. More direct confrontations. It just kept escalating.
It really did. Which brings us back to that father slap incident Mark kept bringing up.
Yeah, he was consistent. Pa physically assaulted his father?
But Bo's defense, well, it was complicated. She admitted she yelled some truly awful things at his dad, like really offensive slurs, even homophobic ones, really bad stuff.
Okay, she admits the verbal part.
Yes, but she claims she only lost it after Mark's father physically harmed Grandma Mark's paternal grandmother. It's a huge counterclaim, hurting Grandma.
Whoa. Okay, so then Grandma's testimony becomes absolutely critical here.
Totally critical. And it shows how easily things get twisted in public fights. First, there was this audio clip going around where Grandma seemed to back up Bo's story. Sounded like she was saying she was hit by Mark's dad.
Right, that clip surfaced.
But then, Grandma called into the show, live on air, to clarify. She was very clear. She said her son only pushed her, he didn't hit her.
Pushed, not hit. That's a significant difference.
Huge difference. She said she was just angry when that audio was recorded, and then she added how incredibly sad she was that Beau had taken her grandchild away. That's this whole other layer of family heartbreak.
Man, that's rough. And the accusations just kept coming, didn't they? Mark also accused Beau of planning something nasty.
Yeah, he claimed she was planning to bring people over to stomp on his mother. Pretty violent imagery.
But Beau's friend, who was apparently there when this supposed plan was discussed, had a different story.
Completely different. The friend basically said, look, I just told Beau I'd go with her for support if she went to confront them alone, not, let's organize a gang to attack your mom.
So an offer of moral support gets twisted into a premeditated assault plan. The misinterpretations are just stacking up.
It really seems that way. And alongside all this family drama, the core relationship accusations got deeper and darker.
Beau was relentless about Mark's infidelity, claimed it happened throughout their relationship, even when their child was sick in the hospital.
Yeah, she mentioned finding MNP chats, which in Thailand is often shorthand for messages with male and female sex workers, implying paid encounters.
And Mark's response to that?
He actually admitted to something. He used the phrase massage with poo, which everyone knows is a euphemism for paying for sex.
So he admitted to that.
Yes, but he drew a line. He strongly denied having a steady mistress, an ongoing affair. He seemed to differentiate between paying for sex and having an emotional affair.
A fine line, maybe, but one he wanted to draw.
Definitely. But then Beau's allegations turned to physical abuse, and these were really disturbing.
Yeah, the descriptions were vivid. Being choked, being bound with scotch tape, feeling like she was close to death.
Horrifying stuff. She also mentioned Mark allegedly kicking her once at their mutual friend Hia Lang's house. These are incredibly serious claims.
Very serious. But Mark didn't just sit back. He had counterclaims of his own, right? About her behavior after they separated.
Oh, yeah. He accused her of harassment, said she broke into his place, locked him inside, threw his stuff around, stole house keys.
Like a whirlwind.
He also claimed she sent him, unsettling messages and even flowers after they split. It paints a picture of post-separation conflict spiraling out of control.
It's like their private war just spilled completely into the open, each revelation more damaging than the last.
And predictably, all this led straight to the courtroom. A tangled mess of lawsuits.
What were the main suits?
Mark filed for divorce, accused her of property embezzlement related to the business, presumably, and defamation for all the public claims.
Okay. And Beau?
She also filed for divorce, naturally, and filed physical assault claims against him based on her allegations. So yeah, a full-on legal war mirroring the social media one.
Even the practicalities of separating seem incredibly bitter.
Totally. Mark apparently said he'd transfer the house to her if she took on all the debt attached to it, which could be substantial.
A conditional offer, then.
Exactly. And he wanted specific co-parenting time, like 3-4 days a week with their child.
And Beau's take on the separation practicalities.
She countered by saying he denied her basic things. She brought up a fight over a washing machine she said she bought.
Wow, a washing machine. When it gets down to fighting over appliances, you know it's gotten really, really ugly and personal.
It truly highlights the level of animosity, doesn't it? Just how granular the disputes became.
Amidst all this back and forth, was there anyone offering a more neutral perspective?
Well, there was Hia Lang. He's an older guy, a mutual friend, kind of a mentor figure to both of them. And his insight was pretty powerful.
What did he say?
He was quite direct. He said Mark went too far with Beau. He acknowledged how devoted she had been to Mark and the family.
So he saw fault with Mark's actions.
Yes. And crucially, knowing their history for a long time, he urged Mark to be more honest about his own family's dynamics, hinting there was more to that side of the story, too.
That's valuable insight. Coming from someone who knows them both well, it's rare to get that kind of relatively impartial view.
It really is. It has weight. And then there were the lawyers on the show who chimed in briefly.
Right. What was the legal angle they mentioned?
Just providing context, really. Mentioning that in Thailand, things like proven abuse or even significant disrespect towards in-laws can be legal grounds for divorce. It just framed why these specific accusations were legally relevant.
Gotcha. So the show itself, where a lot of this played out, they tried to step in.
Yeah, the host tried to mediate, basically. They pushed both Mark and Beau to take down all the old social media posts, the attacks, the accusations, try to cool the public feud down, de-escalate things.
Did it work? Did they agree?
Surprisingly, yes. Right there on the show, they both agreed. consented to remove the public posts and basically let the courts handle everything from then on, the divorce, the money, the kids, all of it.
So, a ceasefire, at least in the public arena, moving the battle behind closed doors into the legal system.
Hopefully, yeah. A move towards a more private resolution, perhaps.
So, when you step back from all the details, what's the takeaway for us, for you listening?
Well, first, it's just how incredibly layered this story of Chef Mark and Beau is. You've got business fights, intense family conflicts, accusations of cheating, abuse. It's all tangled together.
Yeah, it's a potent mix. And it really shows how, in this day and age, private lives can just explode into public view when social media becomes the weapon of choice.
Exactly. And that brings up a bigger question, doesn't it? In this era where everyone's most intimate moments can end up online for clicks and judgment, how do we, as people consuming this stuff, navigate it?
Yeah.
When we see these conflicting stories, these deeply personal attacks laid bare.
What's our responsibility? Is there an ethical way to engage with it, or should we even engage at all when people's lives are being torn apart publicly?
Yeah, what are the ethics around watching, sharing, and judging these private battles playing out in the digital town square? It definitely gives you something to think about long after you stop listening.